Hi everybody. Welcome to my first Facebook Live. If you are joining me live, please type in live. And if you're catching the replay, please type in replay. Now, for my first Facebook Live, I thought I'd share a little bit about my story, my background, where I come from, and all that good stuff. But I gotta warn you. I actually gotta warn you because I do stutter. So from time to time, you're gonna catch me stuttering. In fact, you know what? I'm actually gonna start with that story. I was about 6 years old when I found out that my speech is not the same as everybody else, you know? So when I came to US, I was 13 and a half. And by then, I couldn't even get one word out. Like even if I wanted to speak one word, I had to catch my breath, and I had facial gestures. So it was really rough. If you know anybody who stutters, or you stutter yourself, drop a 1 below. And if you do know anybody who stutters, please be patient with them. Don't rush them. Let them think. Let them get the words out themselves. Don't complete the sentences for them. All right. I went through, I put myself through 6 years of therapy to basically work on my speech, and here we are, right? Now, enough with that. I'm also a cancer survivor, and the reason why I tell you that is, I went through chemotherapy for 6 months. I lost a kidney to that. And the only and I shared that story with some people, and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'm like, "Why? You're sorry? I'm alive and well, and I'm here in front of you guys. So don't be sorry. Be happy. We go through stuff just to make stories, and our stories are to be shared with other people, and that should inspire some, right?" Now, enough with that. I've actually had 6 other operations besides my kidney after that, so I have a few dings, if you would. But enough with my health. Most of my professional life, I've actually been in the mortgage industry. About 11 years, I was actually in the mortgage industry. Hey, Bernadette, what's up? And we all know what happened in 2008 to the real estate market, right? It kind of crashed, and I kind of crashed. I actually didn't crash because of what happened in 2008. I actually made a bad decision that cost me basically my brand new house, my income, all my good stuff. So I went from way up here of about $25,000 a month to basically not a penny, right? Around 2008, a friend of mine from the mortgage days calls me up and goes, "Hey man, we're gonna make so much cash. You gotta check this out. I need you there Wednesday night." And if you have a friend just like that, drop a 2 in the comments, because we all have one of those, right? And I knew this guy, so I said, "Oh, all right, fine, I'll go," right? I decided to go to this quote-unquote meeting, and if you ever been to one of those, drop a 3 in the comments. You know what I'm talking about, right? So I went. It was actually their first one in Orange County, and there were, I don't know, about 14 people there. I kind of was just dozed off, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really like there. I kind of would catch here and there stuff, but I wasn't there all the time. So, but you know what? At the very end, the speaker said one thing that just really caught my attention, right? He said, if you find someone that has the lifestyle that you want, let's say drives the car that you want to drive, eats at places that you want to go to and eat, basically has the life that you want to live, you drop everything you're doing and you follow that guy. You don't listen to your next door neighbor, because guess where he lives? Next door to you, right? That really caught my attention. So he said that they have a training on Saturday, and this was a Wednesday night. So I said, if he said, if you want to join us, you can come and join us. Hey Nate, what's up, money? I'm gonna be speaking about you. So I went in on Saturday to the training, and that was the first time I was introduced to personal development. And he was playing a CD by John C. Maxwell on 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Hey Beta, hey JP, what up? And man, I was like blown away. I was like, dude, this stuff is amazing. Like, where was this stuff? Where was I? They always say, if the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I guess that was a check mark for me. So I loved what I heard. I decided to sign me up and join. I joined, and I went to work, right? Well, let's fast forward about a year and a half. Year and a half goes by, and me being the mortgage guy, the finance guy, I'm like, well, you know what? I should take a look probably. You do remember, yeah, I know. I should probably go take a look and see, how much I've made, So for the whole year and a half, I added everything up, and I had made a whopping $360, right? That's for the whole year and a half. So at that point, I'm like, dude, this is the scam they were talking about. This is not working. I'm so over this. And I quit. And I went back to the corporate world where I knew what to do, right? So let's fast forward 5 years from now. 5 years from then, I'm in a completely new industry, right? I'm doing SEOs. We sell Google advertising, websites, and stuff like that. And I was talking to a prospect. I just hung up the phone, and I hung up the phone after he let me have it. Why I'm calling him, he should take me off the list, and blah blah blah, and on and on and on. But by the way, drop a 5 if you know what I'm talking about. I was that annoying guy that will call you out of nowhere and try to sell you stuff on the phone, right? So, I kind of just I put everything on pause, and I looked around at the other cubicles in the office, and I had what I call a Forrest Gump moment. Now, if you've seen the movie, there's a part in the movie that he starts to, yes, you were, JP. He starts running for like a year and a half, right? And then all of a sudden, he stops in the middle of nowhere, and he, slowly turns around, and everybody who's been behind him, they just go, shh, shh, shh. He's about to say something, right? He's about to say something. And then he looks at the crowd and he starts saying, I just want to go home, right? And I tell you, that day, that moment in that office, I just wanted to go home. I was so done with it. Like if you have ever felt that way, if you relate to my story at all, drop a 6 in the comments. Just wanted to go home. So I got up, I told my manager, I said, Houston, and that's his real name. I said, Houston, I'm, I don't feel good, man. I got to go home. He goes, you all right? I go, no, I'm not okay. That's why I want to go home. He goes, are you going to come back tomorrow? I said, well, fortunately, I got bills to pay, so yeah, I'm coming back tomorrow, right? So on my drive home, all I could think about was what happened to those guys that I met 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that drew the circles on the board, and they said, hey, you're going to make a lot of money. And all I could think about is what happened to them, right? So I gave the person who enrolled me a call. Yeah, you remember that, right? I gave him a call and I said, "Hey, bro, what's going on?" He goes, "Hey, man, I haven't heard from you for so long." I know. He goes, "What's up?" I said, "I wanted to see you." He goes, "Why? Are you in Vegas?" I go, "Vegas? No, dude. I'm in Irvine, in Orange County." He goes, I go, "Why? Are you in Vegas?" He goes, "Yeah, man. We moved to Vegas." Now, okay, let me pause here for a second. At the time when I met him, he was in a one-bedroom, low-income apartment with his wife and 2-year-old daughter, driving a crappy old car, right? So now it's about 6 years after, right? So I go, "Why are you in Vegas?" He goes, "Well, we bought a 3,000 square foot house. You know, I got a company car, and I'm making this much money." And I'm like, whoa. What are you talking about, dude? Like, what are you doing? Are you back in mortgages? And he said, "No, dude, the same company you left, I stuck it out, and here I am." I tell you, man, I hung up the phone. I was happy for him, you know I was, but I was like, dude, what? Seriously? Like, how come he did it and I couldn't do it? Like, everything I've done to that point, I was very successful at, right? But what happened that I did not succeed in that industry, in that company, in that brand, right? So I really had to really think about things, right? And I came up with two reasons. The first thing was, and I put some notes down because I want to make sure I cover all my points. The first thing was I didn't learn and understand the industry, the business, right? And the second thing is I didn't learn and understand my customers, my audience, right? No matter what business and profession you're in, you really got to know your business and you got to know your audience, right? Drop a 6 if you know what I'm talking about. So he said, do you want to get back in? I said, "You know what? I really missed the product." By the way, it's like 6 years after, so I don't really know what products you guys have. There's one product that I'm just like, I really miss it, so I want to get back in. But as far as the business thing, I don't know, man. I just kind of missed the product. So I got enrolled back in again, and this time I said, "You know what? Let me research a little bit and find out how these guys that are making so much cash, how do they do it, right?" So I started to go to different webinars. I started studying different companies, different products, right? And it was end of November 2014 that I went to Vegas for a seminar called GoPro Mastery by Eric Worre. If you know who that is, drop an 8 in the comments. He is the man who changed my life. So at the end of that 4 days, I felt like I'm walking on clouds, right? I mean, I had so much stuff in my head, and I'm like, man, this stuff is like amazing. Like, I had my first aha moment, if you would. So at that point, I told myself, I said, "You know what? I totally can do this. Like, dude, I can learn this stuff. This is no big deal, right? I can totally learn this, and I can totally do this." So I decided to basically go for it. Now, at the time, I was working about 10 hours a day. I had, some of you know, that my dog, little guy, is diabetic. This is the time that I had to basically run to the vet after work, like 6 days a week. It was just extensive, right? So I actually built the business right after work, after the vet sessions and all that good stuff. So I decided to get into it right after work, right? Part-time. Now, I started to work with that company for about 7-8 months after. Something went wrong with the company, and I had to choose another company, another platform. And I'm so blessed because the second company that, hey Michelle, the second platform that I decided to work with is a direct sales company that we build 100% online, 100% on Facebook, if you would. And for some of you guys who know this space, having home meetings and coffee shop stuff and meetings, it could be frustrating because, my first home meeting, I can tell you this, I invited 17 of my closest friends, okay? I set up the whole product line, catalogs, applications and all that stuff, and guess how many people showed up? One person showed up, and I didn't even know that guy. Somebody else had told them about the event, so nobody showed up, right? And it could be frustrating because some of you guys have kids, have full-time jobs. You have to rush home, put the kids to sleep, do homework with them, feed them, and bathe them. And then, like at 9 o'clock, at 9 o'clock, you got to start inviting folks over, right? Who wants to do that? Strangers in your home. And here's what happens, because when we build online, the cool thing about that is the very cool thing is this. First of all, it's convenient for you because you can prospect and provide the information to your prospects when you have the time. So you can really fit this in the cracks of your life, right? You don't have to have it at Tuesday at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., right? And the second thing is it's convenient for the prospect because they can review the information when it's convenient for them. They don't have to show up at a certain place on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So it makes it convenient for both ends. And it truly makes sense because now you can really focus on providing the information and prospecting and actually getting some results back. It's a company that's a first social retail brand. Now, one thing I gotta say this is I'm really blessed because I got to lock arms with somebody who is a well-respected, well-known professional in the industry. She is a multi-7-figure earner in the business. She has never made less than 6 figures a year. And in fact, actually, she's making 6 figures a month in our company. So she's a pretty big deal, right? And I don't know what profession you're in, whatever profession you're in, how cool would it be, how valuable would it be to have someone of that caliber, right, available to you, to coach you, to mentor you, to walk with you and provide you all the help that you need to grow. I mean, it's priceless, right? If you know what I'm talking about, drop a 9 in the comments, and I appreciate all you guys sticking around. Now, I've had 33 jobs in 10 different industries in my whole life, right? And so I think getting a job is really not like the problem. Holding a job is more the problem. I mean, you have companies that close doors, right? You have companies that lay you off. There are companies that replace you. Companies that get raided by the feds. I've had that happen to me like twice. So getting a job was not really my answer anymore, right? If you have had a company close on you, lay you off, replace you, or even have had the feds show up at the door, drop a 10 in the comments because I feel you, right? So for me, it was either, okay, what do I do? Like, do I look for another job or do I look for something that's stable, right? Or I just didn't want to be that 60-year-old guy that goes for a job interview. You know what I mean? That was not for me. So why I really went this route, I think it really comes down to the lifestyle, right? Because we can have the cash, we can have the income, but if you don't have the lifestyle, which means the time to enjoy that income, then really what good is it? Like when I was in the mortgage industry, my average income was about $25,000 a month, okay? I had to purchase my undershirts and everything else online because I had no time to wash them, right? So what good is that, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So for me, it really came down to, okay, lifestyle, right? Yes, the income is great, but you also want to have the lifestyle, the freedom to enjoy it, right? I mean, some of you guys have kids. Some of you guys want to spend more time with your kids, more time with your spouse. You want to take vacation, but you only can take 1 week or 2 weeks per year when they tell you. Somebody calls you up on a Wednesday, says, hey, do you want to golf? You're like, no, because I'm working. You know, that stuff sucks. You miss a lot of events with your kids. Some of you guys want to travel, right? So for me, it came down to, okay, you know what? It's really a combination of both. You got to have the income and the lifestyle to go with the income. Otherwise, it just doesn't work, right? And that's why I chose this. Now, if you guys relate to my story at all, drop a 11 in the comments. If you feel like somebody else may relate to my story, you're more than welcome to share my story. But I thought, my first live, I should probably tell you a little bit about me. I'm going to do more lives. I'm going to do at least 3 per week. And it's enough about me, right? You're like, that's good enough story about Sean. So from now on, it'll be more content on the industry, and I'll provide more value to you guys. If you guys want to know what the heck it is that I'm doing, I said Social Retail Live, what is that, all that good stuff, go ahead and drop a 12 in the comments, and I'll get back to you when I can. I appreciate everybody that stuck around, and I appreciate everybody who is going to watch the replay. Again, if you are watching the replay, go ahead and type in replay for me. I appreciate you guys' time, and for now, ciao.